dollar. Dirt and money, no soul. Had to go and get it, ain't no time to kick it. Got a stack of flip for my foes. Dollar. Please tell me you can hear me. Don't turn your back and don't neglect me. Just let me know if you need me. Dollar. Let me watch out for my partners. Keep my money long, get my team strong. Let me run away from my problems.
Yep, it's the original crew, man. We're back. We have a new Patrick CC. Yo, I gotta start posting on the main channel because unfortunately but hey, it's cool though. We've been dropping these on Saturdays over here on the Extra Dose, and a lot of people don't even know we've been dropping them.
Oh yeah.
So because they've been asking, hey, can y'all do like we have? You know what I'm saying? That's why we tell everybody, you know what I'm saying? Links in the description.
Links, yeah.
Go subscribe to the other channels, you know. But we got the awakening of Jim Carrey, Hollywood's worst nightmare. Hey, Jim Carrey was one of my favorite actors as a kid. You know what I'm saying? I think he's a wonderful comedian. You can just throw on a Jim Carrey movie and actually have a great laugh, bro.
Yeah.
And you like, it's fun energy, and I hate the way but I understand it. But I also hate how he just at one point just walked away. And it's like, who takes your place? Nobody. I don't think what Jim Carrey does nobody can duplicate. He's a one-on-one, you know, because you know how sometimes you have people come and you're like, okay, that person retired, but we got this person next up and they're gonna do great. Yeah. Jim Carrey, no, nobody can ever duplicate, reciprocate, nothing. Jim Carrey is a one-on-one of all time, a legend in his own right. But with that being said, make sure you check out the links in the description box.
Down below.
You already know where to go if you want to first support. All you got to do is check out down below. Also, if you enjoyed today's visuals,
liking it with a thumbs up.
Let us know, baby. But let's go. Let's check it out. Let's see what's about. You ready?
I'm ready.
Let's go.
Once he reached the pinnacle of fame and fortune, he realized it was all a lie. Hollywood sold Jim Carrey the dream. You're gonna be a big star. This next opportunity is going to be your breakout moment. He became addicted to this and spent half of his life failing to develop a successful career. He was desperate for the acceptance and approval of others who were willing to discard him whenever they pleased. Yet through the power of divine intervention or just pure talent, he finally made it. He made classic films in multiple genres, generating billions of dollars and inspiring people all over the world, and yet he felt empty, alone, lacking purpose and identity. And once the Hollywood facade veered its ugly head, Carrey did not run away. Instead, he used his platform to expose the soulless, evil industry that's praised by innocent people who don't understand.
You know why he's doing that? Do you know why he's doing that?
Why?
It's deep, man. I ain't gonna talk all that on the internet. But if you know, I don't want to seem like those, but one of those. But if you know, you know.
Yeah.
Oh, we on the same page?
Yeah.
Okay. I just wanted to say.
They are being fooled.
Jim, you got really dressed up for the occasion. You look good.
I didn't get dressed up.
Who did?
There is no me.
There's no you.
No.
We're not here. This is a dream.
It's just things happening. And there are clusters of tetrahedrons moving around together.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what's happening in our world right now?
It's not our world.
None
That's
of this
the
is
key.
real?
Nope.
So you're just passing
We don't
through.
matter. We don't matter.
The first time Jim Carrey experienced failure was when he was 15 at the Toronto comedy club Yuck Yucks.
What?
I stood up there and I did this horrible, corny act. Halfway through it, they started playing the soundtrack of Jesus Christ Superstar, saying, "Crucify him, crucify him, crucify him." Mark got on the microphone backstage and went, "Totally boring, totally boring." I was 15. I got no leeway for that at all. His first time on stage was so traumatic, it's surprising Carrey didn't quit comedy altogether. The only reason he took a 2-year break was because his family was so poor they could not afford to invest in his dream. The family of 4 lived in a Volkswagen van near Burlington, Canada. Jim and his brother John also spent months living in a tent in the Charles Daly Park on Lake Ontario. But Jim soon overcame his fears and returned back to the stage in 1979. The 17-year-old quickly transitioned from open mics to regular paid shows. In addition to growing in popularity, Carrey attempted to break into the industry by auditioning to be a cast member for the 1980-1981 season of NBC's Saturday Night Live. Unfortunately, SNL's executive producer selected Charles Rocket over Carrey. Facing failure once again, Carrey continued performing stand-up across Toronto and the surrounding towns. The reason why some people rejected Jim's comedy early on was because, well, there wasn't really much comedy in it. He was merely an impressionist. He could mimic and resemble famous people or characters. His act didn't have transition jokes or stories, just impression after impression.
Could you imagine the Fonz hosting a cooking show? Hey, right. You take your pot and you put it on the stove like this. First you fill it with water like this. Alright, you follow me so far.
Luckily for...
That's why I respect like traditional comedians. Like, and when I say traditional comedians, I'm talking about stand-up, those who branch from the underground scenes, and technically not those who come from the influence realm of comedian. You know what I'm saying? Because I hate the nuance of everybody want to label themselves as a comedian just because they on social media. You might tell a joke here or two, but you're not necessarily a comedian. It's just for you to be able like, oh, I'm a comedian. Like, I don't mean nothing about, like, shut the hell up. You're not a comedian because y'all can do even 5 minutes of stand-up comedy.
Yeah.
And I respect it so much as far as the traditional route of comedy is because they go through the process of like public embarrassment of them standing up there trying to see what works and bombing. And then they get to the point where they get a few laughs. And then they're like, okay, I need to work on that. I need to tweak that a little bit so the whole room laughs.
Right.
And they build their way up to being able to make the whole room laugh. Just because you get on here and do a skit of mimicking of somebody, you call yourself a comedian. Oh, yeah, I'm the new comedian on the block. But then, all right, you the new comedian on the block. I want to see you do 5 minutes of stand-up. Learn how to capture our audience.
Right.
They can't. That's the reason why you throw them in a movie. It's like, what the fuck they there for? They can't capture our audience because they never went through the process of truly capturing an audience.
Yeah.
Anybody can hop on their phone and captivate an audience for a second of time. Sure. But you get them they don't know how to interact with words. You know what I'm saying? Like real words that are theirs that they had to come up with. That's the reason why, like in the acting world, you have the Jim Carreys, the Bernie Macs, and whatever comedian, the Red Fox, the I don't want to disrespect. What's the damn light skin mustache? Help me, somebody. Richard Pryor. Great comedians. I can't say everybody, so
but it's so many.
Yeah, but I'm like, there's so many who went through the realm of understanding how.
Yeah.
Nowadays, it's such a lost art because we throw the comedian title on so many people that are not comedians, and honestly, they're not funny.
I agree.
Jim, there was someone very powerful out there who did believe in him. Writer for the Toronto Star, Bruce Blackadar, raved about Carrey, calling him a genuine star coming to life. Carrey receiving significant mainstream media coverage for the first time ignited the much-needed momentum in his career. The review increased demand for his impressionist stand-up act throughout the country. In April of 1981, he appeared in an episode of the television stand-up show An Evening at the Improv. That summer, he landed his first acting role in Introducing Janet, a made-for-TV movie that premiered in September 1981 on the CBC and drew more than 1 million viewers for its first airing in Canada. As he continued to perform in comedy clubs nationwide, comedian Rodney Dangerfield took notice and signed him to open his tour.
I love Roger. I love, you know him?
Yes, I know him.
I'm just checking. I love him. Oh, my bad. I love him. I've been looking. What's the joint? The Ladybuzz. I've been trying to watch Ladybuzz for probably the past year or two, and I can't find it on the streaming platform.
What's the problem?
I can't find it on the streaming platform. Nothing. Do you know the movie Ladybuzz?
I feel like I do. Yeah, it sounds familiar. Bro. You can look it up and show me, and then I'll tell you yes or no. I'll tell you if I know it or not.
Hold on. Let me see the movie. It's from 1992. Ladybug.
Oh, yeah. I do. Oh, yes, I do.
But because everywhere I find it, it's like you have to purchase the movie. You have to purchase.
Bad. You could just get it.
I don't want to. If I'm already buying.
I know. I agree. It's crazy.
Just put it on a streaming platform for me so I can actually watch it and enjoy it. I don't want to have to. I already paid for it. I'm gonna have to pay again. I ain't no broke person, but damn, bro. It's a great movie, and it's another one I've been wanting to watch too.
What's that?
Dude, what? If you didn't ask me, you be asking me, and I'm just like, what's the guy from Home Alone?
Like the main character?
No. Home Alone. I always got to do this to find.
Harry Lime?
No, Daniel. Marv that plays Marv. So Marv.
Marv. Oh, okay, yeah.
And then he plays Bushwhack. I've been trying to watch Bushwhack for about 5 years now. You don't remember Bushwhack?
Let me see.
Where he's this criminal and he takes the kids into the woods and they hike. They hike in the woods. Bushwhack.
It sounds familiar, but I can't.
Oh my God! If you don't know, oh my
Shut
God,
up.
she
I
sucked.
didn't say
she sucked, bro.
Hold on, calm down, simmer. I didn't say I didn't know. I just can't recall the movie.
Bushwhack is
but I'm pretty sure
movie.
I've seen it.
And then Ladybugs.
I do know Ladybugs. Yeah,
I've been trying to watch that one a lot too, but there's so many goated films they will not put on streaming platforms. It sucks.
A made-for-TV movie that premiered in September 1981 on the CBC and drew more than 1 million viewers for its first airing in Canada. As he continued to perform in comedy clubs nationwide, comedian Rodney Dangerfield took notice and signed him to open his tour. By December of 1981, Carrey was a well-known comic in Canada.
I mean, I don't think everyone has that mobility, that flexibility. I mean, have you ever thought about that?
No. Well, I guess it's because I'm tremendously vain and I stand in the mirror a lot.
What about Sylvester Stallone?
Hey, yo, I do. Hey, you're gonna go out with me, Mickey. I mean, if you don't, I'm gonna break your legs. You know what I mean?
I'll go.
Okay, all right.
But every time Jim took one step forward in his career, his momentum would come to a screeching halt. And
I get what they mean with his impressions. His impressions are kind of.
But you gotta start somewhere.
You gotta start somewhere. Like some people can do impressions. Like some people, like Ari Spears does great impressions. Godfrey does great impressions. You know what I'm saying? But Godfrey, I don't know him outside of impressions. Ari Spears is a good comedian. Personal views, it's to each his own. But impressions and comic, he's good at. Yeah. But it just, impressions are very hard though.
One step forward in his career, his momentum would come to a screeching halt. Carrey decided to pack his bags and move to Hollywood at the beginning of 1983. He regularly performed at the Comedy Store and the Laugh Factory, two clubs that have been an incubator for just about every comedy legend in the 80s and 90s.
Facts.
Additionally, performing on The Tonight Show was a major milestone for a comedian's career, and it was a dream of Jim's. By the spring of 1983, he was invited to perform a stand-up set on the highly rated Late Night Show. This surely would have been the perfect recipe for Jim's career to skyrocket. However, following a lackluster club set at the Improv, the showrunners at Tonight revoked their invitation. I had kind of a lukewarm night, and then I heard the news that I had lost the Tonight Show. It could have been the end of me, but my brain has always had this fail-safe space that goes, I don't know how, but it's gonna happen a different way. Accepting failure again, Carrey returned home in April 1983 to rejuvenate and perform stand-up in a familiar environment. While in Toronto, CTV's flagship news magazine, Program W5, did a feature on Carrey that aired nationally in Canada.
Were you just born with this plastic face?
I guess. Always hamming it up, it just sort of came natural. I didn't know until like a year ago that was different than everybody else, that my face was so weird. I realized that's what my special thing is, I guess, is that I'm weird, is that I'm rubber.
One thing about Canada is they always held it down for Jim. They seemed to understand his greatness before the rest of the world did. This hometown motivation is just what he needed to keep his dreams alive. So yet again, he went back to Hollywood. Within a few months, Jim successfully landed the main role for a sitcom called The Duck Factory. Becoming the lead role in a sitcom was a massive opportunity that was seemingly reserved for A-list comedians in the 80s. It became a little more normalized in the 90s for new talent to get their own show. This means that Carrey was ahead of the curve, sitting on a potential gold mine. To promote the series, Carrey was set to appear on The Tonight Show starring Johnny Carson, which aired on the same network as The Duck Factory. During his appearance, the 21-year-old went through most of his popular impressions.
Jack Nicholson.
Clint Eastwood. E.T. the Extraterrestrial.
Unfortunately, The Duck Factory was canceled after just one season. However, there were two major reasons that led to the show's demise. Firstly, the episodes were aired out of order, making it impossible for anyone to follow the plot. Secondly, Jim played the role of the straight man, which is basically the guy who sets up the joke so the funny guy can deliver the punchline.
Roland, you want to take a look at this? Marty's script? Pass. It's really not as bad as you'd think.
I've heard the same thing said about raw fish, but I wouldn't want to try that either.
Although Carrey was the main character, they seemingly didn't play to his strengths. He never got the funny lines, and therefore the audience didn't really build a relationship with him. But still, Jim knew there was something around the corner from him. He finally got a taste of that Hollywood dream, and he could not subside. This was his destiny.
I used to open my arms. I used to sit up there, you know, and open my arms and imagine a giant funnel of gifts
would come right into
from the universe.
Yes.
Honest to God, you could, you know, cut to me there. I'm like this, and if nothing else, it made me feel more positive about where I was. I drove down from Mulholland Drive every night, you know, that I went up there, feeling that I was one of the biggest actors in Hollywood. I was doing wonderful work that made people happy. I was, you know, I owned all that. That was it. You know, I guess, you know, what I own, when you think about it, is my faith.
He decided to audition for Saturday Night Live again, this time ahead of the show's 1985-86 season, during which returning executive producer Lorne Michaels sought to hire an all-new cast. 5 years after his previous SNL audition, 23-year-old Jim Carrey was rejected again. He never even got the opportunity to audition his material in front of Lorne Michaels because the producers and senior writers just assumed he wouldn't like it. But unlike his previous SNL rejection, Carrey was starting to establish a career for himself, and he did have something to fall back on. Once Bitten was a film released months after his SNL audition. However, it drowned in negative reviews while underperforming at the box office. After returning to the comedy club circuit with Impressions, Carrey made his third attempt at landing a spot on SNL in the fall of 1986. Unfortunately, he was rejected for the third and final time. The reason he tried so hard to land SNL is because it would have given him that legitimacy he needed as a comedian. Not to mention, he would have also perfectly fit into their sketch comedy format. But many people didn't think Jim Carrey was that funny. Some didn't even consider him a comedian because, well, he didn't really tell jokes. Combine that with the fact that his movies and TV roles were failing, and maybe that was an indication that he just wasn't going to be the Hollywood star that he and the people of Canada thought he would be. Or maybe it's because he wasn't being promoted in the right way or cast in the right roles. Perhaps Jim Carrey just didn't fit the mold that a comedian or actor in the 80s was supposed to be.
But I never make it in the normal ways. It's always the side window or the basement window or something like that. Same was, you know, it's been true all the way along.
Was it a tremendous defeat for you when you go and audition for Saturday Night Live? Because you were on, listen,
no,
you did
I
impressions.
have a psychotic belief system that goes, you know, something magical is going to happen. I don't know how it's going to happen, but if there's no way in, a new way will be created, kind of thing.
Most people would have given up, but Jim had invested so much into this life. He knew if he just stayed the course, something good would come. And surely, by divine intervention, luck, or just genuinely working on his craft, Jim Carrey made one connection that changed his career. Jim secured a role in the 1988 comedy film Earth Girls Are Easy, which is about a Southern California girl who befriends three furry aliens after their spaceship lands in...
Yo, what the hell?
About a Southern California girl who befriends...
Don't we know him too?
Yes, you know both of them. I can't think of their names off the top of my head, but
there's Dane, Jim. Oh, this white guy. What is it? Is he white? Because his skin complexion is always like tanned up. And I can't fucking think of his name. But I do know the woman. I can't think of her name either.
Yeah, so her name.
Yes. This guy.
Just take my phone, why don't you? Yeah, you know them. Because,
Jurassic Park. Yes. I forgot. Independence Day. Yes. Yes. That's crazy. The amount of talent that's in this fucking film. My bad. I'm sorry. Go back. Just go back. Go back.
Just to
And what's her name?
Oh, you want it again? Oh, there you go. Her name is Valerie.
Jenna Davis. That's her name. What's that shit?
Oh.
But
I'm talking about in the show.
Thelma and Louise, Stuart Little, Beetlejuice. Yes. Hold on, real quick. Yes. Quit hating, bro.
No, I'm talking. Well, in the film, her name. Have you seen this?
I haven't seen this.
Oh.
But I'm saying there's so many goated actors in one film that I've never heard about before.
But yeah, Jenna, have you? Oh, you've watched stuff that she was. Yes. We just watched this.
Oh, we did.
Oh, that's the '88 one.
And we didn't watch the new one.
We did watch the new one, didn't we?
No, we watched the trailers in theaters.
Oh, we watched the
Stuart
trailers.
Little, I think she's the mom of Stuart Little. Yeah, she's the mom of Stuart Little.
What else have? Angie.
I don't know. I've seen her plenty of things though, but I might be thinking of Stuart Little though.
But I feel like, have I seen this? I feel like I have seen it.
Mm-hmm.
Friends 3 furry aliens after their spaceship lands in her swimming pool. Actor and comedian Damon Wayans played an ancillary role in the film and was extremely impressed with Carrey's comedic talents. They became friends. Damon told his brother Keenan about Jim while he was developing the soon-to-be groundbreaking American sketch comedy television show In Living Color.
And Damon was like, yo, Keenan. Damon was Keenan's right-hand man. Okay. That's his lieutenant on Living Color.
Okay.
That was his right-hand man. Okay. So he's like, you gotta trust me. This white boy is funny. He's like silly putty. He twists himself up. He could suck his own if he tried. This white boy crazy. And Keenan was like, okay, let me see him.
At a time when most sketch comedy shows were dominated by white performers, In Living Color stood out by centering Black and Latino talent, using humor to tackle issues like race, inequality, and stereotypes head-on. The show broke barriers by featuring skits that blended sharp social commentary with slapstick and absurd humor, often mocking political figures, celebrities, and cultural trends in ways that were both provocative and hilarious. Carrey was a key member.
The thing is, with In Living Color, they took the edge that a lot of people were afraid to take on, like, with television. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, I feel like if In Living Color was still going on to this day, I think it literally would be as big as Saturday Night Live. Reason why I say it, because it would have had gained the years of notoriety. And just imagine how many comedians actually would have went through In Living Color opposed to going through Saturday Night Live. And because I feel like Saturday Night Live is for a certain audience, and then Living Color is just for another audience.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like I think a lot of comedians that was on like BET, what's the Comic View, would have went through in Living Color, would have had an access.
I love Comic View, yeah.
They would have had an access door, and then just imagine the amount of talent that went through in Living Color. You got Jim Carrey, who became such a great, phenomenal actor. Tommy Davidson, what's his name? David Greer, phenomenal actor. Jamie Foxx, phenomenal actor. The Wayne, all of the Wayans. What's Jennifer Lopez? Was Jennifer Lopez on there?
Yeah, she was on there.
She was a dancer, right? What's the other one?
Girls.
What's the other one? The one from Simon Cowell and all them. What's the Simon Cowell show? American.
Paula.
Paula. She was a dancer. She was a fly girl.
Okay.
You ain't know that?
Maybe so. Yeah.
Yeah, she was a fly girl on there.
Yeah.
So like, just imagine the amount of talent that actually came through in Living Color.
I probably didn't. I don't think I did.
But yeah, it's a lot of talent that came through in Living Color. And just the amount.
You sure Paula was a fly girl?
Yes. I swear I've seen her on there before.
I just don't
trends in ways that were both provocative and hilarious. Carrey was a key member on In Living Color, where he became known for his wild physical comedy and over-the-top character portrayals. As one of the few white cast members, he stood out for his high-energy performances and fearless commitment to outlandish roles, which showcased his talent for slapstick and exaggerated facial expressions.
Wow, a real fireman!
That's right, princess. Say, I sure have a beautiful family here.
Why, thank you, Fire Marshal Bill. Now, how can we help you?
Well, it's National Fire Safety Week. I've been going door to door looking for fire hazards. Mind if I give your place a little inspection?
Carrey's role on In Living Color is exactly what he needed to prove to Hollywood that he could be a star. From there, he secured a lead role in a major Hollywood production.
This is my mom's one of her favorite movies of all time, Ace Ventura. And that's the reason why I know that movie so much. She loved. We had the VHS tape, and she used to put that bad boy in. We were like, she cracks up the whole time.
That he could be a star. From there, he secured a lead role in a major Hollywood production, Ace Ventura: Pet Detective, which grossed $107 million worldwide. He finally did it. All his hard work paid off. He finally proved himself to Hollywood. And unlike all of his previous success, his momentum was not about to slow down. Jim Carrey was about to take over the 90s and become one of the greatest physical comedian actors in entertainment history. Warner immediately paid him $5 million to reprise his role as Ace Ventura. While filming The Mask, New Line Cinema offered Carrey $7 million to make a sequel and paid him $7 million to appear in...
There was no sequel to The Mask, right? Until like recent.
To my knowledge.
Because remember, somebody said there was another Mask that came out. Remember when we did the Death Battle? Yeah, 2005. 2005, which I don't think it did nearly as good though.
Carrey $7 million to make a sequel and paid him $7 million to appear in Dumb and Dumber. At the time, it may have seemed unwise to offer Carrey such a large amount of money for a new talent. However, any skepticism regarding Carrey's ability to fill movie theater seats was laid to rest following the 1994 release of The Mask, a comedy film that follows Stanley Ipkiss, a mild-mannered, unlucky-in-love bank clerk who discovers a magical mask that transforms him into a superhuman trickster with cartoonish abilities. The mask amplifies Stanley's hidden desire and confidence, turning him into a green-faced, wild, and unstoppable character with exaggerated powers reminiscent of classic animated characters. The Mask was a critical and commercial success, grossing over $350 million worldwide. 5 months after The Mask, New Line Cinema released Dumb and Dumber, the buddy comedy film Carrey starred in alongside Jeff Daniels. Nicolas Cage was set to be Carrey's co-star, but his team could not negotiate a...
Hell no. I'm glad Nicolas Cage didn't. No.
You know, some things work out for the best.
Yes.
Like, not saying,
like, really see Nicolas Cage
like
in
this,
Dumb and Dumber.
This was perfect.
Perfect,
this
bro.
was perfect. Like, I didn't even need to know.
Bro.
I don't even think I knew that before him saying, like...
Bro, that hurts to even... that y'all consider Nicolas Cage in a comedy film, to be real. Nicolas Cage always got this, like, dry personality. No, get it twisted. His films are good for what they are, but his personality
like
is very
serious.
No, dry.
Oh, okay, I was trying to,
it's
you know,
dry.
Well, yeah, whatever. But you know,
no disrespect. I like Nicolas Cage. Yeah, but it's dry.
But this is perfect.
Yes.
Yeah.
Daniels. Nicolas Cage was set to be Carrey's co-star, but his team could not negotiate a $2 million increase fee. The company was reluctant to hire Daniels due to his limited comedic experience, but the writers and Carrey vocalized their support for him. New Line Cinema offered a low salary of just $50,000, hoping that Daniels would turn it down, but he accepted. Meanwhile, his co-star Jim Carrey was paid $7 million.
I can't feel my fingers anymore. They're numb.
Ooh. Maybe you should wear these extra gloves. My hands are starting to get sweaty.
The film was another commercial home run for Jim, grossing over $247 million worldwide against a budget of just $17 million. The stupid humor and quotable lines, driven by the outrageous antics of its lead characters, produced a classic. The following year, Carrey appeared as the Riddler in the 1995 superhero film Batman Forever. True to Jim's signature comedic style, his version of the Riddler was manic, flamboyant, and full of over-the-top antics, which contrasted with the darker, more subdued villains typically seen in the Batman universe. He brought a vibrant, almost cartoonish quality to the character. While some critics felt his performance leaned too much into comedy, others appreciated the unpredictable and zany energy he brought to the role. Carrey's contribution helped the film gross over $336 million worldwide, becoming the 6th highest grossing film of 1995. Carrey was undoubtedly one of the biggest draws in Hollywood throughout the 90s, and became the first actor to be paid $20 million for a role, and that was to star in the dark comedy The Cable Guy. He was among the top ranks of A-listers, alongside Arnold Schwarzenegger, Harrison Ford, and Sylvester Stallone.
You were the first one to get a $20 million movie, right?
That's what they say.
I mean, you had to feel good.
You know, the weirdest thing is that I have never worried about money. Never. Ever. And
so
I just
it's never
no,
been
maybe
your
it's
driving
because
force?
I went there and I lived that way and realized that, we lived on the road in a van for a while after we were in the worst jobs of our lives, and we were making money, and we decided to quit because we were turning into monsters. We lived in a van and we're happier than we had ever been, and I guess that taught me that to trust the universe.
Carrey's historic payday became a frequent talking point whenever the actor was mentioned. In June of 1995, Variety wrote the headline, "H. Wood finds $20 million tab for Carrey playing scary." And Entertainment Weekly wrote, "You'd be smiling too if you just got paid $20 million. Although he was just 2 years into his Hollywood boom, he was a little confused. Why did they care so much about the money? Why couldn't they just talk about the art, or his roles, or his acting? His movie, The Cable Guy, was considered a box office flop. Jim was not playing the role of a lovable goof, but rather an unsavory, insidious psychopath. Critics seemingly were harsher on this movie because of all the hype surrounding his $20 million payday. They used this film to basically denounce his worth in Hollywood, but he felt it was important for him to expand and take creative risks.
I certainly don't want to play it safe my whole life. I don't want to. I think the danger is that you start patronizing your audience. You start to try to see, okay, well, this worked, so I better stick with this. And then no growth happens at all. And whether something is a success or not, you have to take the chance of losing a few people, because you do gain others.
Carrey went back to his stereotypical silly self in the 1997 comedy Liar Liar. The story centers around a lawyer's strained relationship with his young son, who, disappointed by his father's broken promises, makes a birthday wish that his dad cannot tell a lie for 24 hours.
What's up, Fletcher? Your cholesterol, fatty! Dead man walking!
Liar Liar was a huge critical and commercial success, but Jim remained firm that he was not going to just do comedy roles because it was the safe route for him, and it was because of these creative risks that he made his best film to date, The Truman Show.
Without the Ace Ventura, I wouldn't be doing it. Without that, I wouldn't be doing it, because Peter Weir looked at that and he went, here's someone who wants to take chances, who is willing to risk it all, basically.
But a lot of people who love you as Ace and Fire Marshal Bill and all these, The Mask and all of that, have a hard time sometimes understanding why you feel compelled to take these chances.
I'm not compelled. I just have the opportunity. I'm given the opportunity, so I have to. I'm a person who's interested in human behavior and always have been. And I have more colors than just the ones I've shown so far. And I don't negate them in any way. And I want to go back and do fun, crazy, wild stuff. And that's great. It serves a purpose. It makes people forget about their problems.
The Truman Show is a psychological comedy that revolves around the concepts of control, free will, and the blurred boundaries between reality and illusion. Truman Burbank is an ordinary man who slowly realizes that his entire life has been staged as a part of a massive reality television show. Unbeknownst to him, Truman has been the star of the show since birth, living in a constructed town called Sea Haven, where everyone around him are actors. The film's opening arc establishes how Truman's reality is fabricated by a media corporation, governed by a single writer. Everything from his childhood fears to his day-to-day interactions is carefully manufactured by the people behind the central show's production. Time and time again, even the actors around Truman force unsubtle product placements into his narrative, further enhancing the artificial nature of Truman's reality.
You can't stand me.
That's not true. Why don't you let me fix you some of this new Mococo drink? All natural cocoa beans from the upper slopes of Mountain Nicaragua, no artificial sweeteners.
What the hell are you talking about? Who are you talking to?
I've tasted other cocos. This is the best.
Much like Truman, Carrey and his Hollywood peers can become puppets to the entertainment industry due to the influence of powerful studios, agents, producers, and executives who prioritize profits over artistic expression. These industry forces often dictate the types of roles these actors take on and the way they are marketed to the public. Actors may be pressured to conform to certain stereotypes or be typecast into specific roles that fit commercial trends, limiting their creative freedom. Their image, both on-screen and off-screen, is often extremely managed, with actors sometimes required to maintain certain looks, personas, or behaviors to align with a brand or studio's vision. This environment can strip actors of their autonomy, turning them into commodities within a system rather than an individual. The Truman Show had a profound impact on Carrey because he realized that his real life was actually very similar to Truman's.
Oh, not necessarily, but what I want doesn't stem from show business generally. I mean, I started out with many desires as far as this business goes. I've so surpassed all of them that it's not as meaningful to me anymore. I really love the work itself. I've examined myself on several occasions. Why am I really doing this? Am I doing this because I want to be famous? And I think there was an element to that when I started out. Sure. I think I wasn't necessarily seen as much or as intently as I wanted to be when I was a kid. I had a job, at least in my own mind, and that was to make my mother feel better. She was kind of very ill in many ways, but I felt the need to make them feel that their life was worthwhile, that they did something special just by the very fact that they brought me into the world. Yeah. So from a very young age, I wanted to convince them that I was a miracle. And then I wanted to convince the world that I was a miracle. And now I want to convince the world that I'm just like them.
It seemed around the early 2000s that Jim started to see Hollywood for what it truly is. Behind the glitz and glam, it's just a vapid display of wealth. People with a holier-than-thou mentality, masquerading around, celebrating each other for menial displays of talent, inflating their egos to dangerous levels. In deeper interviews, it was clear Jim was aware of his role in this soulless machine, but he didn't reveal his true thoughts and feelings about it. Yet. The Truman Show was a critical success, grossing over $264 million worldwide. It also marked a significant shift for Jim. As he demonstrated his range and depth as an actor, he even earned a Golden Globe for Best Actor in a Motion Picture Drama.
No, thank you very much, Hollywood Foreign Press. I will really love this. I'll enjoy it so much, right down to the chewy chocolate center.
Unfortunately, what should have been the start of a string of experimental projects for Carrey never occurred, as the comedian retreated back to his comfort zone. Entering the 2000s, Carrey continued appearing in comedy blockbusters like Me, Myself, and Irene, How the Grinch Stole Christmas, and Bruce Almighty. He even reintroduced himself to a new generation of children through films like Lemony Snicket's A Series of Unfortunate Events and A Christmas Carol, as well as the animated film Horton Hears a Who. These films combined made well over $1 billion at the worldwide box office. But even in the middle of his success, Jim struggled with depression, questioning what his purpose was in all of this.
I was on Prozac for a long time. Yep, I was on Prozac for a long time, and I'm not sure. I mean, it may have helped me out of a jam for a little bit. I had to get off at a certain point because I realized that, you know, everything's just okay.
No peaks and valleys.
There are peaks, there are valleys, but they're all kind of carved and smoothed out, and it feels like a low level of despair you live in, where you're not getting any answers, but you're living okay, and you can smile at the office, you know, but it's a low level of despair.
And you don't take any of them, or you don't take anything now?
Nothing. I don't take anything. I rarely drink coffee. I'm very serious about no alcohol, no drugs. Life is too beautiful.
So where I hang out with Buddha and Krishna and, you know, all those guys.
Are you a
Jesus.
Buddhist?
I'm a Buddhist, I'm a Muslim, I'm a Christian, I'm whatever you want me to be. You know, it all comes down to the same thing. You're in a loving place or you're in an unloving place. If you're with me right now, we cannot be unhappy. It's not possible.
After winning multiple awards, generating hundreds of millions of dollars, and being considered a living legend in the entertainment industry, in 2009, Jim seemingly had an awakening through the readings of Eckhart Tolle, a spiritual teacher and self-help author.
I woke up and I understood suddenly. Thought is responsible for, if not all, most of the suffering we experience. And then I suddenly felt like I was looking at these thoughts from another perspective. And I wondered, who is it that's aware that I'm thinking? I was thrown into this expansive, amazing feeling of freedom from myself, from my problems. I saw that I was bigger than what I do. I was bigger than my body. I was everything and everyone. Ever since that day, I've been trying to get back there.
Jim also gave a profound speech to the graduating class of Maharishi University of Management.
When I was about 28, after a decade as a professional comedian, I realized one night in LA that the purpose of my life had always been to free people from concern, just like my dad. And when I realized this, I dubbed my new devotion the Church of Freedom from Concern. And I dedicated myself to that ministry. What's yours? How will you serve the world? What do they need that your talent can provide? That's all you have to figure out. As someone who's done what you're about to go and do, I can tell you from experience, the effect you have on others is the most valuable currency there is. Everything you gain in life will rot and fall apart, and all that will be left of you is what was in your heart. My choosing to free people from concern got me to the top of a mountain. Look where I am. Look what I get to do. I did something that made people present their best selves to me wherever I go. I am at the top of the mountain, and I was, and the only one I hadn't freed was myself. And that's when my search for identity deepened. I wondered who I'd be without my fame. Who would I be if I said things that people didn't want to hear? That peace that we're after lies somewhere beyond personality, beyond the perception of others, beyond invention and disguise, even beyond effort itself. To find real peace, you have to let the armor go. Your need for acceptance can make you invisible in this world. Don't let anything stand in the way of the light that shines through this form. Risk being seen in all of your glory.
Damn, that's deep, bruh. Who would have thought from a comedian you would get something so deep? But also, people fail to realize comedians are some of the people that go through so much in life. Like, they literally can show you how to laugh through the pain.
Yeah.
And a lot of people fail to realize that. You know what I'm saying? Like, sometimes you can turn your pain into your happiness, man.
True.
You gotta take it in. You can't like allow it to like derail you off into another headspace or another like mindset. Like learn to see it for what it is and see through what it is. You know what I'm saying? Like Jim Carrey, a deep mode. Cause some like he said, he had to strip away like the fame to realize who Jim Carrey. Beyond what Hollywood sees, but beyond what the fans see, beyond the comedy realm, he had to because you got to realize, even at 15, he was trying to develop who the world sees as Jim Carrey. From doing stand-up comedian and bombing, he has dedicated like damn near his whole life becoming this. Trying to becoming this.
Failing and succeeding and failing again and so.
And so this is all he for so long. Now I need to discover who is actually Jim Carrey for me. Yeah. Not for y'all, but for me. That's deep, bro.
Carrey's career took a significant nosedive during the 2010s, with his only notable role being Thomas Popper Jr. in Mr. Popper's Penguins, and the reprisal of his role as Lloyd in Dumb and Dumber 2, which was significantly less successful than its predecessor, both critically and commercially. But while promoting Dumb and Dumber 2, he had a strange appearance on Jimmy Kimmel Live.
Is that a gang sign? Have you,
Oh, like you don't know what it is. You don't know what that is.
I have no idea.
Well, you don't know. Jimmy Fallon doesn't know. David Letterman doesn't know.
Well, we don't know.
All the comics and show business don't know what this is. I'm here tonight to blow the lid off it, to be the whistleblower. I'm sick and tired of the secrets and the lies. It is the secret symbol of the Illuminati, and you're a part of it, and it is the all-mocking tongue. For years now, talk show hosts, people on television, people in sitcoms have been hired by the government to throw you off the track, to distract you, to make you laugh and stuff like that, make you happy and docile so you don't know what's really going on, you know? And they get out there in the woods in a circle naked and they decide these things. You know what they're trying to do? Who? This thing is buzzing, hold on. They're trying to turn us into, consumer drones of some sort. Hold on, I just gotta get this. Yeah, listen, I'm in the middle of blowing the lid off some...
What happened?
I'm sorry, Jimmy. I was temporarily interrupted by my iPhone 6 Plus. 5.5 heads-up HD display. I think what I was really trying to say was I think people will enjoy Dumb and Dumber this weekend.
There were multiple sources that claimed that they were at the show and that the whole time there was no actual audience laughter, and a laugh track was added in post-production to the video that was uploaded to YouTube. Some people looked at Jim's mockery as brave, that he was potentially exposing the truth and that his life could be in danger. Others dismissed this as an actor who is past his prime and merely trying to do something shocking to promote a movie. But Carrey's public awakening and attacks on Hollywood did not slow down. During his 2016 Golden Globe speech, he was a little sarcastic, but his message was very clear.
You know, when I go to sleep at night, I'm not just a guy going to sleep. I'm two-time Golden Globe winner Jim Carrey going to get some well-needed shut-eye. And when I dream, I don't just dream any old dream. No, sir. I dream about being three-time Golden Globe winning actor Jim Carrey, because then I would be enough and I could stop this terrible search for what I know ultimately won't fulfill me. But these are important, these awards. I don't want you to think that just because if you blew up our solar system alone, you wouldn't be able to find us or any of human history with the naked eye. But from our perspective, this is huge.
Coincidentally, at the same time Jim was outwardly speaking about his spiritual awakening and calling out the horrors of Hollywood, he was also in the middle of some pretty dark times, with shocking allegations against him that he could have prevented and allegedly caused the death of his then girlfriend, Katrina White. Carrey had been periodically dating Irish-born makeup artist Katrina White since 2012. In 2013, White married Mark Burton, but continued occasionally seeing Carrey until her untimely death on September 28, 2015. The Los Angeles County Coroner's Office later ruled White took her own life by overdosing on prescription drugs, including Ambien, propranolol, and Percocet. Katrina often posted on her Instagram subtle hints that she was constantly working on her mental health, posting motivational, spiritual quotes, or self-help messages. She was also a few months into her journey studying Scientology, which, as we learned in my Tom Cruise video, typically begins with someone paying for auditing sessions, which is their version of therapy. On September 19, 2016, Burton filed a wrongful death lawsuit against Carrey, claiming that he illegally obtained and supplied White with the powerful painkillers that killed her. The lawsuit alleged that Carrey had surveillance cameras on the home where White stayed. Before she was discovered, Carrey's assistant checked the camera and noticed White had not moved from the home for more than 24 hours. After learning of this fact, neither Carrey nor his assistant alerted authorities. The drugs found in White's body all came from 3 pill bottles found near her body bearing the name Arthur King. The suit said that Carrey got the drugs from a doctor who conspired with Carrey to illegally prescribe them to him under the false name of Arthur King. Burton's suit claimed that Carrey also sent a bogus text message to White on September 27th when she was already dead in an attempt to straighten out his story. According to the suit, Carrey's offer to pay for White's funeral in Ireland was merely an effort to paint him as a grieving good guy, as opposed to someone closely involved in her death. But Burton's suit also claimed that Carrey never actually paid for any of the funeral expenses. In response to the lawsuit, Carrey stated, "What a terrible shame. It would be easy for me to get in a back room with this man's lawyer and make this go away. But there are some moments in life when you have to stand up and defend your honor against the evil in this world." The following month, on October 11th, 2016, Katrina White's mother, Bridget Sweetman, sued Carrey for wrongful death and sought damages for violation of the Drug Dealer Liability Act. In court documents obtained by Us Weekly, Sweetman accused Carrey of giving her daughter prescription drugs as well as sexually transmitted diseases and being verbally abusive. Carrey's abuse included, but was not limited to, Carrey giving Miss White 3 STDs without warning her, lying to her about it, dumping her out of concern for saving his own carefully crafted public image, calling her a whore and shaming her, and then using his high-priced Hollywood lawyers and fixers to intimidate and threaten her in an effort to silence her. Attorneys representing White's family released a 2013 iPad note allegedly sent from White to Carrey, which in part read, "This is what I want. You gave me HSV and HPV. I want you to apologize for it because you care enough to. I want you to understand that however little a thing seems to you, it ruins a girl's life. Before you, I might not have had very much, but I had respect. I was a happy person. I loved life. I was confident and I felt good in my own skin and was proud of most decisions I made. I met you, you introduced me to cocaine, prostitutes, mental abuse, and disease." However, what I found interesting was that there was another note that looks handwritten that was being spread around. Yet the article was quoting a...
Because this one right here is very much so trying to put blame on him for a lot of things, like it's coming from someone who's blaming him for whatever she went through.
Right.
It doesn't seem very personable. You get what I'm saying? It's coming from, this is what I want. You gave me like HSV and HPV. I want you to apologize for it. Like her family wants you to apologize for it because you care enough. Because that's what you say. I want you to understand that however little a thing that seems to you, it ruins a girl's life.
Yeah, it's just
like it, like the verbiage doesn't sound like it's coming from a personal viewpoint.
Yeah.
It sounds very third party, and like I always say with a lot of things, bro, wording is very, very important, especially when it comes down to just criminal acts, civil acts. When it comes down to legal, when the legality's in it, I didn't understand how important like wording and phrasing is until like I literally took law classes in college, like legal classes and stuff like that. Like you actually reading documents and understanding like, damn, wording is that very important. Yeah, and that's the reason why like nowadays like. I might go into a point of saying something and I abruptly stop because I'm like, all right, how do I like really say something where it comes off the right way I want to say it, but doesn't come out a way that's the incorrect way to say it. You get what I'm saying? Like, just because on some legal shit, like people can. I'm surprised more YouTubers honestly don't get sued as much as they do. Because a lot of people on social media, not even just YouTube, social media itself, because too many people pull up a phone or a camera nowadays and get the loose lip talking without doing research, and they could be 100% held liable. But like recently, we saw somebody say, "What's the point of me suing you? And you have no money."
Like you have no,
Because like in a lot of situations we see nowadays, people like. Well, if it wasn't true, why they ain't shutting such and such up? Because what do I gain from suing someone for lying on me when they literally have nothing?
If anything.
Because they won't even be able to pay. Like, they won't. And the only way I could truly shut them up is by suing them. But I would lose more money suing them than I would be with anything else. True. So that's the reason why they allow some people just to talk. Hopefully y'all are more mature in mindset to not listen, but this just don't sound like it's coming directly from her.
Yeah.
But I could be wrong. I could be.
Yeah, never know.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Prostitutes, mental abuse, and disease. However, what I found interesting was that there was another note that looks handwritten that was being spread around. Yet the article was quoting a different note. Like they were displaying this handwritten note as the evidence and saying that this was the iPad note, but then there was a separate iPad note that they were directly quoting, and the two notes are written very similarly, and they contain basically all the same subject matter, but they're not the same. So how could you write an article that says, in the letter she says blah blah blah, and then display the letter as your evidence where it does not say what you just said it says? Soon after Sweetman filed the lawsuit, the Daily Mail reported that a Mr. Jose Lopez, believed to be an alias used by Carrey, filed an STD test. The test showed Lopez's birth date listed as January 17th, 1962, the same as Carrey, and also showed positive results for both types of herpes, chlamydia, and hepatitis A. The results of Lopez's tests were submitted as evidence by Sweetman's lawyer, Michael Avenatti, who also issued a declaration. Carrey then proceeded to have unprotected sex with Miss White with full knowledge that he was STD positive, including on February 12, 2013, 2 days before Valentine's Day and within weeks after learning the test results. It's interesting that in these lawsuits, they claim 2 different times that Carrey used fake names, one to obtain drugs and one to obtain an STD test. But how do they know this? What evidence did they provide to prove this? These are some major accusations and not enough evidence to back it up. And because of that, the wrongful death lawsuit against Carrey had been dismissed in February of 2018. There seemingly was a settlement outside of court. Without a trial, we won't really know what happened. But blaming someone else's death, especially in the way that it happened, on someone else is definitely a complicated situation. Typically, those types of deaths are not caused by just one thing, but rather a potential lifetime of issues that unfortunately we just don't seem to know how to solve. But by this point, Jim had experienced all of the glory and wrath Hollywood can offer. They love you, then criticize you, then put you in a box and determine who you are. They might even accuse you of committing horrible crimes. But the trade-off is that they give you millions, if not hundreds of millions of dollars. And it was abundantly clear in 2017 that Jim was fed up with the Hollywood game. Notably in his New York Fashion Week red carpet interview where he made a bunch of existential philosophical pronouncements.
No, I'm doing just fine. I just, there's no meaning to any of this. So I wanted to find the most meaningless thing that I could come to and join, and here I am.
They're celebrating.
You got to admit, it's completely meaningless.
Well, they say they're celebrating icons inside.
Celebrating icons, boy, that is just the absolute lowest aiming, possibility that we could come up with. I don't believe in icons. I don't believe in personalities. I believe that peace lies beyond personality, beyond invention and disguise, beyond the red S that you wear on your chest that makes bullets bounce off. I believe that it's deeper than that. I believe we're a field of energy dancing.
What you said it for?
I just hate when people try to make other people seem as though they are crazy.
So you talking about her,
her facial expressions and stuff like that.
All you gotta do is
because
take the mic out of his face. Once you find a dead spot. A dead spot could be while they're actively talking, but it's a point where, and that's where you have to use active listening.
Like, hey, thank you.
Thank you, Jim. And then just move on. You kept asking. And he just kept going because you kept trying to. Yeah. You're trying to pull something out that you don't.
Jim said, "Baby, I'm tired. Y'all can keep on with the, the facade and the this and that. I'm good. I'm gonna check out. It is what it is. I'm gonna remove myself from."
Yeah.
Ain't no wrong with
off. I believe that it's deeper than that. I believe we're a field of energy dancing for itself.
Jim, you got really dressed up for the occasion. You look good.
Girl, you don't even want the conversation dropping. You keep.
No,
was that an accident?
I didn't get dressed up.
Who did?
There is no me.
There's no you.
No.
We're not here. This is a dream.
It's just things happening. And there are clusters of tetrahedrons moving around together.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what's happening in our world right now? Because there is a lot of news that actually is relevant that's not that
Here's
uplifting.
The thing. It's not our world.
None of this is real?
Nope.
So you're just passing
We don't
through.
matter. We don't matter.
Oh, wow.
There's the good news.
While some headlines questioned his sanity, others felt like he was just experiencing an ego death, something that a lot of people in Hollywood could probably benefit from.
I think that we're all, we're all trying to add things to ourselves so that we can finally define ourselves, and then everybody will get us and they'll go, okay, this is what you are. And then if you actually get there, you will find it so empty that you'll realize that's really not what it's about. It's about not only, just going with the flow, but it's about not taking it personal. It's like the difference between a house and my house is a world of difference, and it's the my that's the problem. Don't get me wrong, Jim Carrey is a great character, and I was lucky to get the part. But I don't think of that as me anymore.
I don't exist. So they're all characters that I've played, including Jim Carrey, including Joel Barish, including any of those things. They're all characters. Jim Carrey was a less intentional character, right? Because I thought I was just building something that people would like, but it was a character, so it's, I played the guy that was free from concern so that people who watched me would be free from concern.
Carrey continued to express that his identity to the world is a character, not a real representation of who he actually is. As an actor, you play characters, and if you go deep enough into those characters, you realize your own character is pretty thin to begin with. You suddenly have this separation and go, who's Jim Carrey? Oh, he doesn't exist actually. There's just a relative manifestation of consciousness appearing, and someone gave him a name, a religion, a nationality, and he clustered those together into something that's supposed to be a personality, and it doesn't actually exist. None of that stuff, if you drill down, is real. Hollywood will not make you happy. A career or a dream job will not make you happy. But you shouldn't let that disappoint you. Instead, let it free you of the constraints and the pressures that you or society have put on yourself. What you do is not who you are. So you might as well try as hard as you can to do something that you actually love, not because you're searching for an identity or a purpose, but simply because it's a little easier than doing something you hate. And instead, let your friends, family, food, nature, and God determine your happiness.
I feel like, and this is something you might never hear another celebrity say as long as time exists, I have enough. I've done enough. I am enough.
That's crazy. You won't hear a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's a possibility you will hear another.
Yeah, you may. Yeah.
But a lot of them won't. That's the reason why we see so many continue to work for so many years. We're like, damn, why don't you just give up? Why don't you just retire? And they won't.
Yeah.
And it'd be sad, but on some real spill, that's the reason why it's good to, like, no matter what you try to do in life, create a persona. You know what I'm saying? Like rappers and stuff, they have a persona. That is what you see. Mm-hmm. That's the reason why it's good to, even if you're gonna do social media, have a display name. Mm-hmm. But that display name is not who you are.
Yeah.
So what you see on camera is not what my family sees. My family called me by a certain name. You don't call me by that name. You don't know me by this person. You know me by this person. What I decide to show you, that is me. That is a character. That is, you know what I'm saying? Like, even you could be a YouTuber, but go by a different name. Yeah. Because when you go by your government and that's what your family call you and all that, everybody's gonna feel like they know you. Like Jim Carrey, he's like, y'all know Jim Carrey, but whatever his family might call him, what pet name, nickname they got, that is who he is. Yeah. That's who he identifies as in his real life. We know him as Jim Carrey or whatever character that your favorite character of his, but you don't know the man behind, you know?
Yeah.
Because so many, like, even as an actor, so many people put so much time and effort in creating this industry person that they forget about the everyday person, the actual human being that they are. Because I have to carry myself this certain way, I gotta live a certain lifestyle, you know?
Yeah, and I also just listening. like, you know how you want to do something so bad, like you have this dream to do something so bad, and like he was able to accomplish and get there, but
achieve all his goals.
Yeah, but it take like not knowing, like someone like me, I don't know like the things that people have to go through on the back end to kind of like get where they, you know what I'm saying, like all the things that come with it, and people can't lose themselves like within
it's just so much,
like, you know, because everybody think the grass is greener on the other side, or you like once you get there you like this is not what I envisioned, you know, whatever the case may be. I don't want to do this. I want to go back to my simple, everyday, regular, like what I know, who I really am.
And it's so hard going back once you become a Jim Carrey. It's like, I can't turn back. I just have to keep going forward. So let me regroup,
Or you have to slowly disconnect yourself from that reality. And
create your reality.
And create your own, or just go back to the base, you know, to where it started. You know what I'm saying? But it can be hard for a lot of people, but it does seem with him that's what he was trying to do. And that was just kind of like leave that world and
take some time away and
just find himself, find the old him, you know. And
But hey, man, with that being said, man, make sure y'all spam us up in the comments. Y'all let us know y'all thoughts and opinions about it for us in the comment section down below. But until next time, y'all know how it go, man. I do go by the name DJ New Kid. This is
Sierra Nicole.
You are?
Kid and C.
Yeah.
Go and get it, ain't no time to kick it. Got a stack of flip for my foes. Dollar, 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 dollar.